Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, June. I got my boy B Foster, man. What's up, Foster?
Hey man, I'm ready for some football. Does the preseason start yet for us?
Man, it's getting close, man. And we're getting close. A couple days away. Today's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
Yeah, we 2 days away, man. A day and a wake up. And then we got Lions football. But before we get into this little it's just a little quick little joint we're gonna do today. I want you to look at the bottom of the screen. Uh, you see that banner. Subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And to do this. Subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. Check us out on all your podcast aggregators. You can go to any of them: Spotify, YouTube Music. Uh, what are the other ones? Apple Podcast, and just go to the search. Type in Bleachers and Speakers, FFSN. Once you see that white, gray, and blue Bleachers and Speakers logo, go ahead and follow that. Make sure that notification bell's on, so whenever we drop, you'll get a notification. And it's getting close to the football season, so you're going to see a lot more drops than you did over the summer. Foster, there was a press conference today. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I did. I did.
Okay, and we talk about the press conference that Coach Dan Campbell did. Our head coach, Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions, did today. And he was basically talking about the injuries, right? And one thing to note for those that are just so happy like I am for Thursday's preseason game, just be aware, golf probably won't play at all. And I ain't mad at that. Not mad at that at all. I think if he needs some work, it's a bad sign.
Yeah. Red
if
flag.
he
Red
if
flag.
he needs to be in there Thursday, it's not a good sign. But uh, I have no reason to think he's in need of any kind of work with the last two seasons. So, uh, yeah. So what we have up here is the depth chart, right? So that falls in line with what Dan Campbell was saying. There's a couple of little slight injuries, uh, but Foster thought, and myself as well, thought it'd be a good idea to show the overall projected depth chart, and we're going to tie into the injuries that we know for sure that's going to affect this depth chart. So, Foster, if you want to read the offense, the starters, and
Yeah. I can touch on the starters and then I guess we can also talk about a few because as far as starters are concerned, there's not a whole lot of surprises, but
Mhm.
we'll elaborate more. So the one of the outside receivers will be Jameson Williams, of course. The other one, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then the natural layout of our offense is three wide receivers. So Khalif Raymond is the third wide receiver. At tight end, we have Sam Laporta, of course, and then left tackle Taylor Decker just got his contract. Graham Glasgow at left guard, Frank Ragnow at center, right guard Kevin Zeiler, who we signed in the offseason, and right tackle Penny Sewell. Of course, Jared Goff is the starting quarterback, and then we have David Montgomery as the number one running back, kind of like 1A, 1B as far as I'm concerned.
Mhm.
On the defensive side, we got Marcus Davenport, who we signed in the offseason, Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, who we signed in the offseason at D tackle next to Aleem McNeil, and then Aiden Hutchinson at the other edge. As far as linebackers, kind of interesting. Who's called? At linebacker, we got Jack Campbell, and we run the primary defense is what is that, a 4-2-4? Is that what that would be?
It would be like a four
Or
two 5.
4-2-5. Right.
Yeah,
Yep. Math,
nickel,
folks.
nickel.
So yeah, the two linebackers are Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone, which I thought was interesting. I feel like Derek Barnes started last year, but
Mhm.
at any rate. We got Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold on both outside cornerbacks. Those are two brand new guys. Terrion Arnold obviously was drafted, and Carlton Davis we got in the trade. The starting nickelback is Amik Robertson, and then the starting safeties are Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, and that's also a change. It's a
Mhm.
change. Well, I
Yeah.
guess CD Deuce was the starting safety to start the year, so obviously he's not here. But Brian Branch was moved over from the nickelback position,
Yes.
and then outside of that we got Jake Bates. Is the starting kicker right now. Jack Fox is the punter. Long snapper Scott Daly. Starting punt returner is Khalif Raymond, and the kick returner is Craig Reynolds on one end, and I'm assuming Dorsey. I think Dorsey is out there as well,
Mhm.
but he's probably just not the primary receiver. Um, but yeah,
It's kind of crazy because this is there's a couple things of note with this depth chart. And I know it's early and it's just preseason, but however, I see where Donovan Peoples Jones is third on the
yes,
depth chart behind Darius Fountain.
yep.
And that's interesting. Uh it's very interesting. You also have what's the other one I was looking at? You also have Levi Onzurike, number two. And I thought Martin would be number two in D tackle, but they say Levi's working. They say there's a lot of things. Jack Campbell over Derek Barnes is a shocker. Like I said, it's early, but at the same time, uh, I expected these people to be. I expected Derek Barnes to be hands down the starter, but they say Jack is working. They say Jack is working, and so.
I
But
think that Derek Barnes is going to be playing in that Sam Blitzer spot
mm,
a decent amount. But I see him kind of in that same situation with Iffy, where you're going to see a lot of him. And I think it's just going to kind of depend on the package. Obviously, if we have any packages where three linebackers are out there, Derek Barnes will definitely be the third guy. But I think they're going to utilize him off the edge a
mhm.
decent amount.
And I also noticed usually with the running back situation, you keep three. But in today's football, um, there's not a lot of usage of a fullback, so they keep four running backs. And it's interesting, Mr. Sion Baki. Uh, he's where he's expected to be on the depth chart. I don't expect him to come in and just take Craig Reynolds or crack the starting lineup, but it's just interesting. They say he can do a few things, so I thought he would be more used in the kickoff returns or punt returns.
Which he may.
Which he
I
may. It's
Yeah, because
early.
they
It's
they
early. It's
don't. Well, they also don't have that like it doesn't show you I know Campbell Dan Campbell, because I always want to call him Jack and vice versa, but
early.
Dan Campbell said that Ennis Rackestra is he saw some things that he liked on special teams. He
Yes.
doesn't have a lineup laid out of who's going to be, you know, the gunners on the punt side, on the punt side of things, or running down on kickoffs. So you could see a Vaki, you're going to see a Rackstraw, maybe you probably see a lot of a Khalil Dorsey. Um, that
Mhm.
part of it is kind of speculation until you watch an actual game or watching the practice.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. Also looking at this too deep, Nate Sudfeld is at number two,
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker is at number three. Now, one thing we know for sure, we will see Hendon Hooker on Thursday. For sure. Without a doubt. Probably Nate will probably start and we'll get a big dose of Hendon Hooker by the probably by the second or third quarter. So
That'll be nice, because usually it's like, oh, who is this guy? But we actually got somebody that we have some vested interest in.
yeah.
Um, and it's crazy how deep we are at even like the tight end position. We saw a lot of James Mitchell last year.
Mhm.
Shane Zylstra, uh, he got hurt. He got hurt in training camp last year, but I
Yes.
want to say he had 3, 4 touchdowns the year before. So you're gonna see. I would assume you see a Zylstra and a Mitchell later on in the game. So yeah, you're not gonna have you're not gonna have a lot of guys where it's just like, who is this? Like a lot of these guys that we're pretty familiar with. Donovan Peoples Jones, Traquan Smith. I know they brought him in like early on, like early in the offseason last year. Um, so yeah, we're gonna see a lot of familiar. I'm sure you'll see Kendall Vildor,
Yes.
a guy that started last year, who was in the
Yes.
NFC Championship game. You'll probably see him out there later on in the game. So it may actually be a little bit more interesting. I also want to see the Matthew Betts guy,
Oh, yeah.
the Canadian guy that
I'm looking to see where he is on the depth chart.
he's way at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Also to note today, got news about Emmanuel Mosley,
Right.
torn pec. He's going to be out indefinitely. That's the same injury that, uh, um, Gardner Johnson had last year that kept him out most of the year. So, one thing about it though, it's early. Um, you will see him at the end of the year probably, and he won't be out all year because we did get CJ back, we did get Gardner Johnson back, but he got hurt in like the second game.
Didn't even play the first game.
Yeah, so um, yeah, we'll more on that, and then of course, uh, John Comiskey is out for a little while, but that's the importance of depth. Uh, I was telling Foster earlier. Started off the drafting a corner, Terrion Arnold. Then in the second round, you drafted Enos Rakeshaw, and I was like, "What are you doing? Now, come on, we got Amika Robinson, we got uh, uh, what was the name? We got Carlton Davis and free agents in the meek round. What are you doing? Why are we drafting all these corners?" Well, you lose Cam Sutton. You you got you can't depend on Emmanuel Mosley. Even though you signed him last year, but you don't know because history has shown that he just hasn't been healthy. He got hurt today. Also, you just you need DBs in the NFL period. Plus, in the NFC North, they're turning into a passing league. I mean, if you look around, you look at the wide receiving cores, all in the NFC North division, and the quarterbacks. This is you're going to need as many capable D backs as you need. As you can see, if you look at the depth chart shows you the nickel package. That long gone are the days where you just had two corners,
Who on the
two
side?
safeties,
Yeah.
three linebackers, four down linemen. No, you're not going to see that. You're going to see two linebackers and at least five D backs out there at a time because of the way the offenses are run nowadays. So most offenses are running three wide receivers every play, at least.
Yeah.
You got your four wide receiver sets, you got your five wide receiver sets, but you're going to see three receiver sets on a regular. So you're going to need three corners out there. You know what I'm saying? Almost all the time. And you need depth because it's a long season. Uh, you got, and we're looking pretty good as far as depth. You got Enos Rekeshaw, Kendall Vilder, you got Stephen Gilmore, you got Khalil Dorsey, you got Iffy that's on the bench. These are, you know, D backs that are not starting, but this is who you have at your disposal. So once which what's was a weakness last year is looking like a strength this year, but we have to see what it how it translates on the field. We know it looks good on paper, but we know how that can go. So before we get out of here though, because this is supposed to be 10 minutes, we can go on 15 minutes, Foster. Wow. Could have had a full show if we wanted to. I want to remind you guys to please subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. And for all your podcast feeds, your audio, uh, your audio needs, go to any of the podcast uh, aggregators and check us out. Follow us there. Bleachers to Speakers, FFSN, search, hit the notification bell or follow, whichever one it allows you to. And then whenever we drop, you'll get a notification. And like I said, we're going to be dropping a lot more because football's here. And guess what? In about a month or so, we'll be talking more and more basketball because basketball will be right after that. Like we're talking October. And it's going to be a long season of basketball and football. And I'm looking forward to it, Foster. I'm excited. You got
So,
any last words before we get out of here, Foster?
I don't know. Try to keep it clean out there on the practice field. I know you guys are anxious to get your hands on somebody outside of your own folks. But let's try to, we got a couple little injuries here, a couple serious injuries, not just little nagging injuries. So
Yeah.
got to get out of there without breaking our hands trying to punch up on rookies. So
Yeah. Kirby, don't be out there giving out these 2 pieces in a biscuit, bro.
whew, mean. But you know what? Neighbors, he initiated that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm going to
Oh
side
no,
with
it was the first. He kind of mushed him, but I think he looked pretty. Kirby looked pretty prepared and ready when when the time came. So you never know what what talk leads to that. But
yeah. I mean, who knows what happened a couple plays before,
right,
So, I I heard someone say, the Lions defensive backfield and got a little chippy and arrogant, but we don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going on. But if you say that, then just imagine last year with CJ Gardner back then. How do you think that would have turned out?
oh man.
How
You
you think?
saw him back him up on Twitter like how is I can't remember what the initial one was, but he was like he got beat up and had the little emoji with the wrap around the head like
Yeah, man. Subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers.